Welcome back to Beauty Marks Podcast, a space where we embrace our marks acquired through our journey. My name is Elizabeth Savion, and welcome to another episode of this podcast. I am back at Hi Hello Labs Studios in downtown Orlando, and I am very excited because I have an in-live person guest today, which is a friend at this point, event planner, business owner, and just a very inspirational woman. And I am very, very excited to have Lorell Diaz here. So welcome to
how
Beauty
are you,
Marks
Elizabeth?
Podcast. Good.
Thank you for having me here.
That you came and decided to join us today.
It's a pleasure always.
How are you feeling?
I'm nervous, but let's make it happen.
Yes. No, honestly, she's someone that I feel like you are someone that maybe hasn't shared your story much, but when people talk to you one-on-one, it's like you always leave just very, very encouraged and motivated. And I've been wanting to have her on the podcast for a while, and it just all worked out. And so can you just share what you're passionate about?
Well, it's been a journey, let me tell you, in my life. Finding what is my passion has been a journey because of all the things that life brings along the way, But since I was a little girl, I grew up in the kitchen because my family was restaurant owners in Puerto Rico. So I'm from Puerto Rico. So that has been in my roots inside of me since I was a little girl.
Yeah, and you're really good at it. I wish I had that skill and that talent like you do.
I love being in the heat.
Yes. No, I mean, I think that you just growing up, especially if you're around it all the time, I feel like that's a way that also in Latino culture, you feel a lot of love and you just bring people together through food, and
Definitely.
cooking together.
Yes.
So at what age did you start?
Well, I can tell you that my mom remembers when I used to be a little girl and I used to have this little kitchenette that, every little girl will have one. And I used to make food and bring to the neighbors knocking, hey, you want to try my food? You want to try my food?
Aww.
And it's funny because after 24 years not visiting my island where I grew up, people will remember that. And they saw me and they're like, Lola, you did it. Now you're a chef. That was your dream, Even though there was a moment in my life where I was not in the kitchen whatsoever because all those things that have happened, that we're probably going to talk about it. But yes, people do remember Lorell, now best known by Lola.
Yes.
Been in the kitchen all the time.
Wow. I feel like not a lot of people have that it's from when they were young that they knew what they were going to do, but it's you went back to what you passionately always loved. And so what has been the journey to get there? So what, I know that you are a cancer survivor.
Yes.
And so what has that looked like and how was that? What were you doing during that time?
Well, let me tell you, the event industry, regardless it's catering, regardless it's the event, the planning, it takes a lot and it demands a lot from you. Plus, it's an industry where the men's rule in the kitchen, So I got here to Florida because I was hired by this company to be a sous chef. I enjoyed that time there. I was almost there for 2 years. But I got pregnant on my first baby. So there's a different stage that Lola wanted it now to be able to enjoy. So Lola decides to let me leave this for a little bit and I'll come back. Let me enjoy my kids.
Yeah.
Right when I was about to go back, I got pregnant on my second baby. So I started seeing the kitchen so far away because I'm like, okay, I really want to be a mom. I want to be there for my kids. But something else happened. I start getting sick. So I have to reinvent myself. And I said, well, what can I do from my house to be able to give my kids, And so I decided to create a boutique Back when nobody used to sell nothing through Facebook, nothing through social media.
You were the OG.
Yes, I was the old version of it.
Yes.
And I start getting all these bags. And Elizabeth, I can't complain. I worked there for 12 years.
Yeah.
12 years and selling handbags.
Yeah.
And that was my full job.
Wow.
It provided for me and my family through 12 years.
That's how I remember you.
Yes.
So my mom would always go get bags.
Yes. I've been in this family for so long. Yes.
You really have. I think at this point it's like 13 years. I don't know. It's been a very long time.
It's been quite up.
Yeah.
Yes.
My mom is a very fashion and very focused, very stylish.
She's a diva.
So yes, she's a diva. And so she connected with Lorell through the bags that she sold. And so I remember she would take us to yours.
Yes.
So
out of my trunk.
Yes, that's so true. So she did have, it was like a
we started in a trunk.
Yes.
Then we upgraded to a small trailer.
Yes.
Then to a bigger trailer.
Wow.
And we got to the point where we had sales rep. So it became a great, solid business.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you wrong.
Yeah.
But the insider of me was telling me, go back to what you love. Even though I was doing so good, I did went, as you mentioned, through a process. And they find out that I had a tumor in my brain. And I had to slow down. All those sales went down to the floor. It was very, very hard years on 2012. I have 26 interns in the hospital. And one doctor says, we need to take it out. Because other than that, you're going to regret it. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. And what are you going to be doing? He said, well, we're going to put a shunt on your brain just to drain the excess of liquid that you will be creating after we remove the tumor. And you'll be good to go. So here I am. It's December 5th, 2012. I'm at the hospital. And they decide to do my surgery on December 24th.
Wow.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah. So you were there.
I was at the hospital. I remember my sister brought me a Christmas tree to the room, and they tried to make me feel happy about it, and don't worry, we're here with you. But it was not the happiest moment of my life. I am a believer, but I was questioning God at that time. Why? Couldn't you wait a little bit more so I could spend some times with my kids? And they said, no, we have to do it now. If you want to have another Christmas, you'd rather do it now.
Yeah.
So I said, well, you know what? Let's just finish up. Let's just do it. Let's take it how it's coming and let's fight it. Well, we did it, but I did it thinking that was the very end.
Because that was so did they tell you, how long was it from when they told you that then you got the surgery?
Well, I got married on May 5th of that year. Okay. My first admission to the hospital was on May 26, 2012. Wow. I had 26 hospitalization in rooms. And the very last one was on December 5th. And that's when they decided to keep me because they had to put me through a lot of different processes just to make it happen. Remember, we're talking about a major brain surgery. Yeah. Where it's going to be taking 3 different neurosurgeons to be working along the surgery, though. So, yes, I faced it. And I said, this is the last time. This is going to be endless. Being positive, not counting that a month after, on January 24, my headaches came back. And I'm like, I was not supposed to, what's going on,
Like, you got the surgery, it should be gone.
I should be feeling great, I had my birthday on January that year, 2013. I did experience some headaches that day, but I thought, it's okay. But I went to the surgery. I went to the hospital. I'm sorry. And the doctor, they tell me, we need to wait for a neurosurgeon again because they need to revise your shunt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So everybody, again, we have such a tight family, a close family. So everybody was in the hospital.
Yeah.
At that time, they had to step out. They leave because it was time to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't that curious, Elizabeth, that sometimes God wants to talk to you alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I was alone.
Mm-hmm.
And that door opened. And it was a neurosurgeon walking into my room at 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
Why now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm alone. What are you going to... I knew it was bad news. Because you're not going to have a neurosurgeon walking into your room at 10 o'clock to bring you great news.
Yeah.
I knew something wrong was happening. And he said, why you have to be so young and going through this? And I'm like, I want to know why. And tell me why. What is happening right now? Well, your shunt has collapsed.
And what is that? Can you explain what?
Okay, a shunt is in your ventricles of the brain. And that's like a catheter.
Okay.
And it's going to bring out all the water that you have in your brain.
Okay.
Because at one point, when you have water accumulated, it creates that not very good looking, like a solid.
Okay.
Like a slime. So, okay, this catheter is going to avoid that to happening inside your brain. Because that's what it was, the tumor.
Yeah.
So it was benign. I'm sorry, but they need to remove it. So once they clean it, there was going to be an empty space right there. So they had to put that catheter there to drain. And then, it was a big surgery. But the shunt has collapsed because they opened the shunt so much that when it starts sucking, it sucks so much that it's like when you're having a vacuum cleaner and you got a piece of shirt or something and it got stuck. So that's exactly what it happened with my ventricles.
Oh, wow.
So the shunt collapsed. So they have to redo the whole thing to make it unplug. And
so that you had to get the surgery twice?
Twice. Not twice, but 3 times.
3 times. So you got it a month after you did your first one.
Yes.
Then you got it again.
And then in March 2013, I go back for the same. And the same story happened. The only thing is that at this time, I did have a faith. I did have a church that it was praying with me. I felt so much love from my church and from my community people, the women that they were lifting my hands at that time, because I wouldn't be able to make it, honestly. I was so frustrated. I was not being able to enjoy my kids. And everything went into a stop, in a pause. It's like when COVID hit.
Yeah.
Everybody stopped.
Yeah.
The world stopped. Well, for me at that moment, everything stopped.
Yeah. Like you were trying to survive through what you were walking through.
Exactly. And I'm here I am, living in a hospital.
So they had you there?
They had to keep me. They had to keep me because the drains that they put, that they come from the ventricle, they were, for some reason, not bringing out the liquid. So they didn't know what to do. But it happened again in the hospital. Well, the shunt collapsed. And they went to do the surgery again. This time they did, because my God, it's so good. It's so good. This time they went to nuclear test first to make sure what was the spot that they were going to address, Like, there's no space to commit mistakes.
Like, we had to figure it out now at this point.
So we're going to open this girl again. We're going to see where it's clotted. We're going to unclot it, and she should be up and running. My dad has a shunt, and he has never been revised.
So he had what you had?
Yes, a set of tumor cerebra.
Oh, wow.
So for me, that's why I was so optimistic at the beginning, because my dad had it, and it's been 50 years already, and he had never had a problem.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So me going through this, one, not two, but 3 times, it was frustrating.
What were the symptoms that you were having to then find out that you had the tumor?
Well, I was going through a lot of headaches.
Okay. Like
Headaches that
migraines?
migraines are not even close to them.
Like you would like not be able to like function?
No, not at all. Life wouldn't bother me, but I couldn't walk because my motor system was, my nerves were completely shot. There was so much pressure putting into them that they were, I cannot allow you move because I don't have no space for that to send that information to your brain. And along with that, you start feeling, when you're feeling like that, depression hits the door, because you're not being the same. You just got married. You want to have a happy family. You want to be the perfect wife. And here you have someone that is just got married to take care of a sick woman.
That's like the vows like in practice right away.
Literally.
In
I'm like,
and in
no,
health.
you won the lottery,
Oh my goodness.
But I hope we're great,
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, it was a lot of hard moments, Elizabeth. So the third surgery, after all the nuclear tests that they were done, they told me, we're going in. Are you ready? They put me on anesthesia. When the anesthesia went in, I woke up.
Mid-surgery?
Yes. There was nobody around me, but there was a TV and a brain. And a surgery was going on. If it was my brain, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that I remember start touching the red bottom like, hey,
help. Yeah.
Help, put me to sleep because I'm getting it. So obviously science says at this point that it was a not planned movement. Like your nerves start waking up. But I know what I saw. When I woke up, that I touched my head, half of my head was shaved. It wasn't completely. So I asked my husband at that moment, what happened? Because I was supposed to be shaved completely. So, well, the same way they opened, they had to close because the shunt is working properly. No way.
Oh, wow.
And right there in that moment, I could hear the Holy Spirit. That's why I wake you up, so you could see what I was done. That you know that this time I did it. After that, I shared this to my husband, to my family, and they are like, well, the church was praying, but they were praying not for the tumor to disappear, but for the shunt to be on place, so science could be at some point avergonzada,
Yeah.
Because I was under the hands of the best neurosurgeon, and the one in charge of the intensive neurosurgery in a hospital. This guy was very rude. He didn't believe in God. So here you have him resigning to my case after he closed the surgery. He said, I'm not touching you no more. Whatever happened, I'm out of the place. So yeah, it's been 11 years. And I haven't had a follow-up.
Wow.
Everything is fine.
So it was like a miracle.
It was a miracle.
Wow.
I mean, when you have these people that they think that they're God.
Yeah.
And they went to nuclear tests just to make sure that they're going to hit the problem and they're going to solve it. And not even a nuclear test could it show you, because the nuclear test show him, okay, this is where the problem is. Go there.
Yeah.
And then he goes there, and guess what? Everything is fixed.
You're like, what's the explanation?
Yeah. So
wow.
Right there, he got shocked,
amazing.
and he said, "I'm not going to do it no more." I wish you best. You do have some things that you need to accomplish right now, because there's things that you are not the same woman that you were. Okay, so I start reinventing myself. So how I'm going to do this? It's been 2 months already. bills have to keep on being paid, you know. My kids, I need to provide for and help my husband at that point. So I said, well, let me take the chance and let me get some sales rep. And I did it. And I did consignment sales to a point where we had at one point almost 50 consignment ladies.
Wow.
Out of one situation.
I mean, you had like a need too. You're like, I need to figure it out.
I needed to do
and
it.
You've had like, I feel like you've always had the entrepreneurship like spirit in you.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
You know,
I'm not a woman, and I encourage every woman not to sit down and cry about the circumstances. You know, just try to see what the circumstances are trying to show you. The circumstances are always going to push you to do something better. You know, to make you capable of doing and achieving things that you never probably expected to have. Because at that point, I never expected to have sales, sales reps for me, because I love to be on the street.
Yeah.
And I like that one-on-one service. So that was really, for me, very fun. But it was not my passion. So after 12 years, you know, everybody has been, social media has grown up so much, and sales, and I am not, you know, a computer
tech savvy
guys. No, I'm not. If there's something I don't like, it's computers. So what thing these days a computer cannot take place, you know, and it's a kitchen. So at that point, a lot of people, you know, gatherings. So I start cooking again. I start plating. I start going back. And you can see that in my spirit, in my, I don't know, you can just see how happy she was because she was doing. So my husband said, you should go back to do what you love. Stop doing purses. That's not for you. Because it was a point where I was like, I don't want to keep on doing this.
Like you weren't as motivated for it. And so because you said that changed you. So like how did what you went through like really change you? Like what was your priorities then?
At that point, Elizabeth, I was very selfish. And I was thinking I'm probably very insecure of myself. Knowing is the industry of where I am right now is we're men's rule. I'm like, what if? What if I fail? What if I don't do it? I've been so much time out. I don't know. That's like medicine. Every day there's something new out there.
Yeah.
So that transition started me and proving me wrong. So I decided, well, I'm going to do it. And I try. And everything has been word of mouth till today's day. It's all about call her, let her know. And there is been some parts of this dream that I not even felt I was going to be able to reach. We own a restaurant, a woman by herself.
That's right.
I own a restaurant. I don't only have a catering event. Company. We do events from ground zero. And all these start happening because I'm a person that believes on the needs of other persons. So if you come to me and I love to networking and you ask me, okay, I need a floral for my wedding, but I refer you and I know that you're not happy with that process, what that makes me, I want to please my customer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to learn how to do flowers and I'm going to make them.
I got you.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it happen. So I started develop this event company that I can tell you that in 3 years, it has blessed my life, my kids. I can hear my kids now saying, Mom, I'm proud of you. That fills me up.
Yeah.
Because at one point, they didn't understand what consignment sales was, you know? So they said, Mom, you have a store that is always empty. Because they didn't know that one people was bringing me a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But so when my son tells me that, that day, I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing all this and you're not proud of me?
Mm-hmm.
That hit me too.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it right. And I'm going to do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And let's make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So having your kids 2 years after you have been going through some process in your life telling you, Mom, look all you got.
Mm-hmm.
We're so proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
How you done it.
Mm-hmm.
Discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Focus. Long hours, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah. No, I
You
know.
know, it's long hours. But there's a lot sometimes inside of women that they don't even know that they have and that they're capable and that they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because probably they are in their comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I have the opportunity to talk to a woman, I said, are you comfy where you at? And they said, yes. Well, you're wrong then. You're in the wrong spot. You need to move. Because when you start getting comfy,
Mm-hmm.
you don't give yourself room to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it.
You're just stuck.
You're stuck.
And it's like until you get out and do something different, then you'll see something different.
Exactly. Yeah. So at that point that's where I am. Every time I'm starting feeling comfortable, I said, well, it's time to do something else. Mm-hmm. And it's not that I want to do it all. Mm-hmm. But time is going so fast these days. Mm-hmm. COVID changed every single person in an aspect. Yeah. That I learned how to be ready. If this shuts down, well, I got this. So that's why I don't get comfortable at all. I just try to always have a plan A, B, C, and D if needed.
Yeah.
You know?
You're like prepared for anything at this
time. For anything, yes.
But also with what you went through, like I feel like having to reinvent yourself from what you were doing, because you were doing that, you said, for 12 years. Yes. And then you had the tumor, then you had to like change your whole life and then go, like I feel like that also made you realize like, man, life is short. Probably. Yes. At that point. So you're like, why not do what I love?
When you look back and you said, I've been 2 years going back and forward in the hospital from one doctor to another with a walker. Come on. I mean, it's like what I can do. And let me tell you, financial things and aspect, they do affect you. But for me, I think they just pushed me out through my limits. I said, you know what? If I have $2, I'm going to invest $2.50. How's that? Well, I'm going to ask the person who's selling them to give me $2 for free, and I'll pay. I'm not for free, but I'll pay you later. And all that stuff, going through every single thing without, again, I'm buying purses, Elizabeth, in a walker, or sometimes in a wheelchair. Somebody pushing me. So that's taking me a full day. When I used to be, okay, I'll go, I buy, I go, I send, I go.
Yeah.
It was
like slowed you down.
Yes, completely. So I said, okay, I need to do something different where I'm enjoying, where my kids say, my mom is always busy, but I'm not proud of what she's doing because I don't see success around her, you know? So I said, let me go for what I like. And definitely when you do what you love, it shows. Yeah. It shows, and the feedback from your customers, the feedback from your family, the ones who are around you that see you every day, they see you inventing yourself and, you know, opening doors. So besides all that, when God is in the picture, forget it.
Like, what can you not do?
There's no impossibles, you know? He make it possible.
Yeah. My mom always says, she's like, I think that because my mom is a huge, I mean, like faith person. And she's always like, whatever your dreams are, like God has like 10x of that. You know what I mean? And it's just like you being consistent and diligent and working. Because I believe that like, if you don't work and if you don't put in the work, like you're not going to see. Like God can have all these plans for you, but we have to step out and do it first. So I love how you say that. It's like the putting yourself out of your comfort zone and doing the scary things that maybe you're like, am I even capable of this? Because it's like it's not in our capacity. It's like through like opportunities, through open doors that God has, you know, and like you walking it out before you see it.
It's like for example, you do makeup and all this thing, and probably obviously now you know it, but when the tendency was out, okay, I want the ombre eyeshadow on me. You're like, I don't know how to do that, but I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah,
you know,
you figure it out.
I will figure it out, and that's it. And next person that needs to have a makeup, you will offer a number. You know, just to challenge yourself.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about. You need to be challenging yourself. You cannot wait for the challenges. Just challenge yourself. And use whatever you have on your hand, like what God tells Moses. Use what you have. And sometimes a lot of women, they don't even discover and take the time to see it. I wanted it to be at one point the weather girl, let me tell you.
Really?
That was something that I was like, I want to be one day the weather girl. But I really, the industry of the kitchen was inside. But that was what I wanted it to be. And the other day I was sharing that with my kids because by the hurricane on August, I was talking and I was in front of the TV with the mic, playing with them, you know, and they're like, Mom, where you getting that from? You're not like that. I'm like, one day, that was a dream. that was a dream.
Kid dream. No, and now you get to see that like you're doing what you love. And what has led you then to consistently do it? Because it's like one thing is starting, right? But what has pushed you to like continuously do it? Because now you've been doing, how long has Creation Cuisine
it's been
around
6 years already.
6 years.
Yes.
So what keeps you going?
What keeps me going? Obviously, that's my full time right now.
Yeah.
You know, I think that once you love what you do, the tendencies, there's always different.
Yeah.
The kitchen is a lab, okay, where you can create. Obviously, create for my customer. I have them happy and say, Lola, you nailed it. Lola, you fulfill all my expectations. This is a dream. That keeps you, who's next, you know? Because that's what it fills me up. And there's many times where I really have wanted Elizabeth to say, I've never been so tired in my life. But it's what you love. So when you love what you do, it's never your job. It's just a happy day. It's just a fun day. So once that journey is done, let's start another one. Loving what you do, I think, is the really the key for enjoying, to keep on trying. And if you didn't hit the nail at that point, well, let me keep on trying until I do it, you know?
Yeah.
There's no time to give up. There's no time to stop. In my family, there's always a saying that they said, chances and opportunities, they don't lose. They don't get somebody else take them. And it's true. Oh, I cannot be there. Well, you will have another speaker here, right? The opportunity was never lost. It was her opportunity and she passed on.
Wow, that's a good point.
The oportunidades nunca se pierden. Nunca, nunca, nunca. So even though they can be born inside of you, once you speak them, somebody else is going to catch it. But it is what it is, you know? It keeps me on. I always tell my customer, your dream is my dream during this time. So I'm going to dream with you. I'm going to bring ideas. I'm going to do everything that I can make that dream to happen reality, you know? And that's what we do, and that's what it keeps me constantly doing. The faces, that is just that it's something that it won't let me stop. You know, it really won't let me give up, because I know there's someone out there that needs to have a smile on their face, and they deserve it.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah. I mean, just so you guys know, she's planning my parents' vow renewal. She's planning my sister's wedding. She's done a lot of events for my family, all my family's corporate events. My sister's graduation. Yeah, we've been around for a long time with her, but she does not only cooking, but she does the event planning. She does flowers, decor, everything.
The planning, everything.
Yeah, like she's literally a one-stop shop.
Okay, Elizabeth, what do you think about Creations Cuisine?
I think it's amazing. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Because I definitely know that about you, is that I feel like you can tell the passion that she has for what she does, because she's always like, okay, she's like really big on surprising you. She's like, I want you to be surprised. Like, okay, I got it. We wrote this out. We have a plan. Now let me like wow you. You know what I mean? But it's like she knows like what type of person you are. So like even for my parents' vow renewal, you're like, okay, got it. All right. And then the day of, it was like 10 times better than expected. And I feel like I see the love that you have for like the people that you do it with. And I feel like your customers do become like family to you, because like you're so invested in it.
And I talk to them so much. And listen, guys, I'm not an email girl. So everything is going to be through text, through phone, my notes, and every single thing that I speak with Miss Mama Yoli, for example. Now with Kat that I'm doing the wedding. It's everything on pen and pencil. So when I put all that together, okay, that's my how do you say, that's
your template?
Yeah,
like
that's my template. That's my mosaico. So let me just make it happen now.
I love that. And I can see that. And 100%, I definitely feel that's why like it's inspiring, because it's like, even though what you've been through, like seeing how like you're so passionate about what you do. And it is true. Like, and just to kind of touch on what you said, it's like that you were intimidated because that was like a man's business, you know, like in the kitchen and doing all those things. So how do you feel now? Because at this point, like you have the experience, you know what you're doing.
Right now, let me tell you, it keeps on. I think that, again, being on the comfort zone and losing your nerves is never good. Then you're too confident. You need to understand that there's always someone out there that may be better than you. So you need to see what are their faults, and for you to become better and better and better.
So like inspiring you.
Yes. Not in a race. No, I'm not. That's your enemy is you. You're the only one who can stop you. But definitely, I have become an entrepreneur. That's just something that it hits me, because when you hear your daughter say, my mom is an entrepreneur, she's the one who cooks, she designed the wedding, and you see her talking to the peoples in the weddings, and I can tell you that I still have some kind of fear, because, again, I was not prepared for this big monster. There's in Spanish a saying que el que mucho abarca poco aprieta. So what I'm doing is one at a time. But I'm making that one super strong. To feel comfortable in every aspect, you know. I'm solid on caterings. I'm solid on flowers. I'm solid on planning. And now I'm starting to look for extra hands so that they can help Creations Cuisine to grow. And be well known. And stop being not stop being a referral company, but you know, that I can be on platforms. That people can, oh my God, it was only you all this time? Yes, it was only me all this time.
Yeah, you did that.
So, and I did it. So when you have these big weddings, magazines, and they reach out for you, hey, we're looking for a caterer for shooting the food. I'm like, oh, they're calling me. I mean, I'm starting to make some noise out there, you know, because they're reaching out to Creations. And even though every time I have a call for an interview, regardless, you're my friend. I get nervous because I'm getting out of my shelf, and that's what it's all about. I could tell you, no, Elizabeth, do not count on me. I'll give you everything in an audio and just do whatever you want. But every single opportunity I won't let pass. I really won't let pass. For smaller to the very big, I will try to make it.
I love that. No, this past month we had a mental health meeting, like an event for She Cultivates, and they were talking about imposter syndrome, which we all struggle with. Like sometimes feeling like, am I like you have an opportunity and you're like, oh my God, like what if people knew like the insecurities that I have? And it's like, and she said, she's like, how she combats that is like by seeing what she's really good at and like focusing on that. Like, I am good at this. And so like now it's like you can walk into that place. Like, I don't know these things like technology, like what you're saying, but I know I'm a good chef and I know I'm good at this, you know what I mean? So like walking like confident in those things, and there's things that you can like find people to like, help you along the things that you're weak in or continue to learn. But I feel like that makes you be like, okay, I'm an expert in this, and then that helps you to like show up, instead of being like intimidated always about like, oh, look at all the things that I'm not, you know what I mean? So it's a process. So
yeah, it is a process.
I appreciate you sharing that, because that's like real. It's like you don't stop. Even like when I do interviews, I'm like, oh my God, like there's still the self-doubt. Like, people say that. They're like, are you shy? Like, it seems like you're so outgoing. And so I'm like, no, I have moments that I'm like, who am I? Like, what am I doing? Like, like the self-doubt that you have, or just like the insecurity that comes in. But I'm like, no, like, I know I'm passionate about this. I know where I'm going. I know where I want to be. And I believe that God's like before me, in that.
Exactly.
And all my nerves and stuff, it's like, that's what helps me like stay grounded, to be like, I'm still learning. I'm still growing. And like, you know what I mean? It helps.
Yeah, being humble in that aspect is always going to help.
Yeah.
And people is going to see that.
Yes.
And I really think sometimes these big bloggers, you see when when what makes them grow is that they show off who they were,
Yeah. Not trying to change.
Not trying to change. That's how people become these days. So, well, no, because, that was the guy that couldn't throw a ball. And look at him,
Yeah. Yeah, that's real.
I really think, yes, it's just about you. It's about you, what you want to do, being focused, discipline, and know that there's a cost. There's a cost. To be successful, you need to be willing to pay the cost. And what's that? Well, there's going to be long nights. Instead of maybe going out and buying the shoes that you want.
Like the sacrifice that it costs for what you're doing.
I mean, there's always going to be something that you need to give out in order to get success and to be out there and trying to stand out. Well, standing out is going to take that step.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing your story. I know like you have multiple areas of your story that we didn't cover today fully, but thank you for being vulnerable and open. It's a miracle that you're here, first of all, and like what you've been through, and just that through that, like through your pain came so much like purpose through what you're doing today. So what are some last encouragements that you have for a woman that I feel like you're very passionate about encouraging and like pushing women out of their comfort zone? So what is something that you would tell someone that maybe they're at that place where they're like, I want to make a change, but I'm scared, or I don't know how to like go after my dreams. Maybe I'm older, maybe I'm starting brand new, maybe I just went through a change. Like, what would you encourage that person?
There's no limit. I can tell every woman there's no limit but the limits that us we put. We are living in a world that if we don't do it, somebody else is gonna do it. Believe in yourself. You were created with a purpose already. You were created by the best creator. So he won't mess up. And when you put things, first of all, in his hands, you will see how everything is like a domino effect, Trusting God, without him, I wouldn't make nothing, period. Because he was the one who really sustained me through the process. But it demands from me having the guts to do it. Period.
The discipline, the consistency.
The focus. Okay, God is telling you you are capable. You can do it. Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to stop looking at your mirror and say that you're ugly and believe that you're pretty? That you're the most beautiful creation. Listen, sometimes we point ourselves to the things that people probably not even care. What people is going to care is about the essence. So I don't think no woman out there should be holding or taking or being okay with a circumstance. I don't believe that. I believe that women should be stepping up, being wise, and being able to lead. If we lead by example, we can see a difference in the whole world.
Yeah.
Because we're not weak anymore. That's something from the past. Yeah, we're weak when there's situations, but no, we're strong women. I think that life has built us little by little. Everything that we have been going through is another block. Up to a point that you say, you know what? I'm stronger enough. I'm going to do it. And if I get derribada, I'm going to build up myself again. Yeah. Losing sometimes is not the end. It's maybe the beginning. So that's what I can always say. Because for me, when my business of my purses was crushed, I decided not to do it anymore. I thought that was the end. And it was the beginning of a beautiful season.
A whole new
world, a whole new chapter, a new experience, new people. But what if I wouldn't take the chance? What if I would have stayed in my comfort zone? Nah, I have this money and I can live out of it. I wouldn't be here today talking to you.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you for sharing. Go after your dreams because we are capable, and I love that. And reinventing yourself at any age and any stage in your life, no matter what. Thank you so much, Lorell, for coming on and sharing. You're such a natural. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
I tried. Guys, I'm here with my hands. I'm fighting it, but I hope you guys
she's amazing and even better in person. So if you have any events, any catering needs, any parties coming up, make sure to contact Lorell Diaz from Creations Cuisine, and I will put all her information, social media, and everything in the show notes so you guys can follow her. Again, thank you so much. I know you encouraged and helped someone today, and I'm so blessed to know you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you guys.
I hope I see you in a bigger place, some near the future. Okay.
Yeah, she's gonna be my caterer.
Yes, we will do that. Yes.
So thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's podcast episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure to share it with a friend. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast, leave a review, and I will see you guys next week.